We're here, man. Look, so walk them through the day you got Rocco.
All right, so the day that I got Rocco, I was actually walking around some of my Craigslist dogs in the neighborhood, and I saw this guy. He was outside, and we got to talking about some different dogs, and he said, I got one puppy left. And usually the last pup is not usually the best pup in the litter. He was smaller than all the rest. He was tri-colored, so people didn't like him. But when I seen him, I just was like, ooh, that is a good looking dog. He reminded me of a teddy bear. And at this point, I didn't even really know like what a good dog was, what a good puppy was. I knew nothing. I was green. And I grabbed him, started messing with him. He was like, hey, give me $100. I said, all right, I get paid on Friday. I'll come pick him up. He goes, nah, bro, you live around the corner. Like, if you don't pay me, I'm just gonna come over. I said, all right, bet. So I take the dog, I put him down, and he walks around like he owns the place. 8 weeks old. Tail up, head up. He was just cocky. And like, again, looking back, I'm like, dang, I picked the best pup that I could. But at the time, I had no clue. It was just one of those feelings.
So then when did you know that you had something special? Because at the time, you hadn't trained dogs. You hadn't even, I mean, you had just lost a dog, I believe, in some sense. Like you said, you got 2 dogs off Craigslist.
Yeah. Had no clue.
And so at what point in Rocco's life, beside him walking around confident, did you like, yo, this dog is special?
So after we started training and I started realizing, all right, he's an athlete, he can do a lot of things, I started just pushing him. So there was one day I put this tug in a tree and I just watched him. And literally for 5 minutes, I just stood back and encouraged him. And he kept barking and he kept getting like excited. He wanted to do it and he couldn't figure out. And he could jump it. It was only like maybe 2-3 feet off the ground. Like he could have jumped up there very easily. But he literally climbs the tree. Like he puts his nails in there and scales the tree to go get that tug. And I'm like, all right, this nigga, he's different. He's different.
There you go. And then so when did the opportunity start presenting themselves in terms of TV and matter of fact, go back. When's the moment you kind of fell in love with Rocco? You know, it's funny, I ain't never fell in love with no chick. But I've always, and when I say that, I do mean specifically the work, right?
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden you realize, yo, I'm really loving this process, and then doors start flying over. So was there a day where you go like, damn, dude, I really love this dog?
So, I mean, honestly, it was like, there was a connection from the very beginning, but I didn't know what it was. And I think the day that I knew he really had my back is when we were at a trial and we were competing against some of the Danes, and he absolutely hates water. And if he will shit inside the house if it's raining outside. He hates it. But there was an obstacle that we had to go over. I had to send him over a jump, and there was a pool of water, and he had to go bite the decoy. And at this point, all of the contestants are pretty close, so this is the last hurrah. So he's either gonna win something or he's not. So I'm like, damn. I send him, he hits the water, doesn't even shake off the water, goes, hits the decoy, bites him, he outs, come back clean. And that was the day I was like, that's my dog.
There you go, there you go. And so when you guys end up getting on TV, when did the doors start flying open where you said, look, I think I can get this dog to do anything? And I mean, again, scaling walls, jumping trees, climbing, getting into cars, swimming, doing all type of trial stuff. What do you think created the opportunities that later presented themselves in terms of getting on television?
I think putting in the work when nobody was watching. I mean, it was literally every day for almost 2.5, 3 years before anybody cared about Rocco, and before we had even an opportunity for people to see him. And then it went from nobody knowing who we were to being on A&E, getting featured on TMZ. We were on ESPN, all of this different stuff. And like people are just keep seeing our face, seeing the dog go through it. And at that point, I knew he would go through hell and hot water for me because of everything we've been through. And he knows if I'm going with him or if I'm asking him to do it, he can do it. And he's always just been so impressive. I tell him, hey, try this. And he's like, all right, you like this? And he goes over and beyond. He just was always just an impressive dog. So all of the work that we did when nobody was watching, America's Top Dog hit us up. They're like, hey, you got videos? I think I sent them like over 100 videos of this dog doing everything. And they're like, black guy, pit bull, cowboy boots, let's bring him out. And honestly, I don't think nobody even expected us to do good, because you heard the commentary. There was like, they're not bred to do this. They're not bred to do this. And by the end of it, they're like, oh, Stan and Rocco.
There you go. Now, it's Father's Day. Why is it important for you to kind of share another version of the story today?
I mean, because I think he actually made me a better father, because it put me in a position where I can provide for my family a lot better than I was. I'm definitely a lot more calm and peaceful because of all of like the physical work that we have to do with the dogs. I get to exert that energy. It gives me a sense of being an athlete again, because now we got to go compete. We got to go work out. We got to be strong. We got to be fit. And we get out and we have a lot of fun with the dogs. And, you know, people see the stuff that we do and they're like, man, I couldn't imagine doing that with my dog. And I'm like, I couldn't imagine not doing it. I couldn't imagine having a dog that just sat on the couch. I couldn't imagine having a dog that I couldn't be like, all right, I want to go for a run. Let's go. Like, I just couldn't imagine that.
And what is one of the things that you hope people take away when they get to watch you and Rocco work and have fun?
And that last part, you need to have fun with your dog. Before I got into like formal training and like we had a name in this, all Rocco and I did was literally have fun. I would take him everywhere with me, and if he couldn't go, if somebody was like, hey bro, don't bring that dog over there, I didn't go. And it was literally to the point where it kept me out of some situations where places got raided because people were doing stuff, or people were getting shot up at places, and I just wasn't there because my dog couldn't go. So it took me out of rooms where I could be collateral damage, and it put me in places where now we can make a lot of dinero and have a lot more fun, and I can bring my kids around.
Lean into the impact, man. Money's a byproduct of effort. I mean, as you said, nobody was watching. Mm-hmm. Everyone's heard me say a lot of big dreams, a lot of big things, and I don't expect them to watch now. I'm like, I got 100,000 more hours work, but make sure you don't forget to outline what it's the byproduct of your effort is now paying off, mm-hmm. but you're still working to define what that business looks like.
Yeah.
But even more importantly, you say it's bringing the people to a place where they get to go out and be confident and trying to better them and their dog's relationship. Mm-hmm. So, you know, what has that been like in terms of how people are impacted from the videos? Because people message me like, yo, man, how do I get a dog to do that? I'm like, good luck. I ain't got no answer for you, brother. I mean, like, that's years of work.
Yeah.
He's 10 years old and he's still doing, that dog looked like he still got some life in him, bro.
I mean, I got inspired. I'm like, all right, we need to do this. I need to work him at least twice a week now. So next time he gonna be even better. Because I mean, again, that was what we did on Friday. Was he may have had, I think, 3 bites with Preston a month ago, but he's not getting worked. He's not going and searching, but he remembered. And the most important thing with Rocco is when we got him, I didn't ask him to do anything. I just did stuff with him. I didn't know about formal training. I didn't know about anything. I didn't know about prong collars, e-collars, I just took my dog with me, and I just showed him what I wanted him to do. I put stuff on mailboxes. He'd jump on it. If he didn't jump on it, I'd jump on it. He wanted to get with me. So then he realized he can do it. And building that bond and having that trust and like the relationship with your dog, they will do anything for you. But you have to be able to communicate what you want. And you have to be able to, one, show the dog that, hey, if I'm asking you to do this, you can do it. And if you can't do it, I'm going to be there to assist you until you can do it. Mm-hmm. Because you have to have their back if you want that dog to have your back.
Yeah, man, we're going to finish up and tell more of this in a different setting.